Tonight, on Unsigned Artist Reveal Worldwide, saxophonist Sam Rucker is coming to our platform. The Virginia native is noted as having a unique fingerprint in creating contemporary jazz laced with hip-hop grooves, R&B, jazzy undertones, and soulful ascension of gospel inspiration. Rucker's compositions have garnered multiple placements on Billboard Top 30 and smooth jazz charts. Moreover, this versatile musician has shared the stage with iconic notables such as Peter White, Eric Benet, Ben Tankard, and countless others. Join us as we welcome saxophonist Sam Rucker to Unsigned Artist Reveal Worldwide. Hey everybody! Hey, welcome. Come on in the room. Come on in this room. This time, it's another Music Monday, is what I always say. So happy to have you guys here with us. I see you're coming in. I see the chats. They're starting. So glad to have you guys here. Do me a favor. Get your hand held. I want you to, of course, share. I want you to tag. I want you to invite everybody. Let them know. Yes, Unsigned Artist Reveal Worldwide is on. I have a very special guest. Yes, as usual. You guys, my guests are always phenomenal. I am always just amazed by the musicianship, the creativity that my artists have. And I am just so ecstatic to have on board with me tonight saxophonist Sam Rucker, producer. Sorry. Sam Rucker is with us tonight. Welcome to the show.
Thank you, Sabrina. Thank you for having me. Hello, everybody.
Yes, indeed. Everybody's coming in. Comments are starting to pop up. We are so happy to have you and welcome to the platform. I know that this is going to be an amazing time. Share with us, where are you living? I know you're from Virginia, but are you still in Virginia?
Still in Virginia.
Still in
Yep. I
Virginia.
live about an hour away from where I grew up, so I'm in the Williamsburg area now. I'm from Virginia Beach, but
Really?
it's all still VA, so still in the Hampton Roads area of Virginia.
Wow. So have you ever ventured outside of
Um,
your home
no,
state?
not really.
Yeah.
Other than college, I went to college just up in the mountains in
Of
Virginia.
course. Of course.
At James Madison, and so
Yeah.
other than that, no,
No?
nope. VA in the blood.
Wow. Okay. Well, we gotta get you on the road, man. We gotta get you
Uh,
international and everything and get you overseas. And but you've traveled though.
oh yeah.
Okay, yeah, you've traveled.
Yeah, I've been
Okay.
everywhere, and nowhere. There's no place that has pulled me away.
Aw.
Everywhere else is good to visit, but
Yeah.
VA is where the home.
Oh, but that's where it's at. That's where you
Yeah,
live. That's where
that's
your heaven on earth is, huh?
that's
I
right.
love it. I love it. I love it. Well, good to have you. And so I want us to kind of just jump in there and just begin to chat. Would you take us back though, if you don't mind? What was what was it that lured you, drew you in to music, Sam? Yeah.
Well, I think that I truly believe that God places these things in us. Even before we're born. So it's kind of hard to think of like a defining moment, but I grew up in a house where both my parents loved music. Both my parents were always listening to music. My dad, especially, was always listening to Grover Washington and David Sanborn, and so I grew up around it, and we had a piano in the house, and I can't really think of a true defining moment other than it was just this, this pull that was just always there.
Yeah. 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 I mean, eh, I even though My dad did not sing. Oh God, we didn't ever want to hear him sing. My mom, though, has a voice because my dad passed in '03, but my mom is still here with us. But she never did anything with her voice.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and I guess I can understand where you're coming from because in our household, neither were like musicians or anything like that.
Right.
But I remember like parties. They'd send us to bed and they'd have a house full of people and
Mm-hmm.
uh, I hope I don't get in trouble for this. Liquor all over the table.
Hey, look, me too. Me too. You're not alone. Me too.
And we were little things, but it wasn't bad. I mean, in those days, house parties were welcomed, right?
Mm-hmm.
And people wanted to get together. They wanted to, food and cigarettes and a little alcohol, a little
Yep.
Marvin Gaye,
Yep. Yep.
and that kind of thing. And that's really how. And I didn't even know, I was even musically inclined. So I kind of get that.
Yeah.
Like not one, there wasn't like one thing like, oh, my mom and dad play piano or
Yeah.
one was a teacher and nah, none of that.
Yeah.
So I guess,
It wasn't a decision, you know.
right.
It's like when I think when it's in you, as long as the exposure is there, and
Yep.
I value the fact that I had exposure,
Yeah.
and there was a piano there, and there was exposure there for me. But I think if it's in you,
Yeah.
nobody has to do anything. You're gonna do it,
Yeah. Eventually.
Yeah.
So you had a piano in the house
Hmm.
right there with you. My grandmother had the piano,
Hmm.
but I never played, continued to play. I would go over there to play, but I
Yeah.
never really like played.
Yeah.
Beyond being at her house on weekends and things like that. But I'm so glad that you ventured out. But I didn't hear you talk about siblings. Are you an only child or
Oh
do
no.
you have
So I am the only boy, and I'm the
oh,
youngest.
oh,
But I have four sisters. And
he's
I
the
love my sisters.
baby.
Let me just say, they're probably watching. I love my sisters. My sisters are great. My sisters, they're my cousins, all girls, So
Yeah.
on my mother's side, all girls. So, I love all y'all. They are,
Aw.
I had royal treatment growing up. They
Okay.
all treated me so good. And I
Yeah.
think they were glad to have a boy come along. So,
Wow.
they to this day are my biggest supporters. And, you know, um, I love seeing them at shows and the support that they give is just great. So I'm really grateful for that.
Oh, that's awesome. That is so awesome. So, are any of them in music or is it just
No, they're not in music,
oh,
um,
mm,
I have one sister that can sing, and they tinkered around with the piano a little bit,
okay.
uh, but nobody really pursued it in my immediate family. Now I have cousins,
Yeah.
particularly on my dad's side of the family, who are, there's drummers and singers, and
Oh,
it's
god.
we so music it's in the blood,
It's
you
in
know,
the bloodline.
it's in the
Yeah.
blood, yeah,
I
for
love
sure.
that. I love that. So we know you play sax, but let's just pretend we don't know anything about what you play or what you do.
Mhm.
Take us in, help us to walk along that journey to help us understand how you actually began to play the instrument. We know there was a keyboard, about a piano in the house.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it's interesting because I think back on how I started, and things were so different back when we were kids. So when I was in sixth grade, they took us into a room. Like, who wants to sign up for band class? Okay, you raise your hand, and they took us all into a room, and all the instruments were in the room, and they were like, go in and try one and pick the one you want. And so we all like went in and put our mouths on the instrument, and one after the other blew in them and so forth. That would never happen today. But I thought that I wanted to play the trumpet, but when I picked it up and blew in it, nothing happened. So I picked up the saxophone, I blew on it, it honked, and so I'm like, okay, I'll take this one. And that really is how I picked the saxophone.
Wow, really?
It really is,
Wow.
you know.
Wow.
Now, a little bit more to the story.
Yeah.
Um, Started playing the sax in sixth grade band, right? And we
Okay.
had our first test on Mary Had a Little Lamb, and I flunked it so hard I couldn't
How
figure out none of it. I mean,
Sam, how do you
I'm trying to tell you that thing was hard. Okay, it was difficult. Okay,
how do you
so
flunk out on Mary Had a Little Lamb?
yo, it was the worst rendition you ever heard in your life. I could barely get a sound out of it. I mean, I was so frustrated and mad.
Wow.
I failed it and I quit the band. I quit.
Oh
I'm like,
my
I'm done with
god.
this. But my dad had rented the horn from the music store and it was a
Mhm.
1 year contract and he was going to have to pay it either way.
Oh.
So he was like, well, I'm not going to waste my money. You're going
Yeah.
to take private lessons since you dropped out the band. You're going to take
Right.
lessons until the end of the contract. So he
Wow.
put me in lessons with a man named Nick Anase. And he was a retired military musician. He
Got
was
it.
hard. He seemed mean to me at the time. But let me just tell you, by the
Yeah.
time the end of that year came,
Yeah.
it was over. He changed my
Really?
life.
Wow.
That man changed my life, truly.
Oh my god.
You know,
Wow.
he made it make sense.
Yep.
He saw potential, and by the end of the year, I didn't want to quit no more.
Look
And
at
then when I
that.
went back to the band in eighth grade, I was competing for first chair.
Yeah.
So I
Wow.
had big shout out to the late Nicholas Anase.
Oh my gosh. Sorry to hear that. But so happy that you had somebody who you can say, "Okay, yeah, now when I hear that name, this is what comes to my mind." And,
Yeah, yeah,
just so happy
yeah.
that he brought you through. And
Maybe he's that defining moment that you were
yeah,
asking about.
exactly,
Yep,
exactly,
yep. He
exactly.
critical. And my
Yeah,
dad not wanting to lose no money. So
that's most important.
yeah, yeah,
Most important. So from 8th grade forward, let's for the sake of time, um, go way forward into so saxophone was it, but we know you can play more than sax.
yeah.
So what other instruments other than saxophone can you
So I play sax, I play keyboards,
play? Wow.
and when I say play, now I work with real musicians who are like truly players.
Yeah,
So I'm not
yeah.
talking about like that. I'm just saying
Okay.
I can play the keyboard. I play a little bit of drums,
Oh.
a little bit of bass, very little bit of bass. But on this album, there are a couple tunes where I did just go ahead and play the bass line myself.
What? You
I'm proud of
recorded
that
it?
on this album.
Yes. So,
But
then is it safe to say we can call you a multi-instrumentalist? Or, I
you
mean, if
could,
you
yeah.
recorded it.
I mean, yeah. I mean, I do play everything, and
Yeah.
usually I'll have I got some great musicians that have been
Oh,
down
wow.
with me for a while, and you hear them featured on In Position on the new single, and
Oh my
so generally what I'll
gosh.
do is I'll play everything, and then I'll be like, all right, you guys come on over and
And do
you
your
and
thing.
do your thing, put some stank on it. And so that's generally my process. So
Wow. Yeah.
um,
Well, so in the family of saxophones, I mean, there are quite a few. And I refer to them as voices. So which voice do you gravitate towards the most in your production?
in my production, I tend to gravitate more towards the tenor. So if
And
you,
why? Why is that?
you I don't know because I started on alto, and alto is like my main horn.
I
That
figured, yeah.
that's the one I've been playing since day one. But the voice of the tenor um,
Beautiful.
speaks. It's like you said. It speaks. They
Yeah.
all speak. I'm
They
not
all
trying to,
do. Yeah.
but there's a tone that the tenor speaks in. And I'm really about connection and communicate like that. Like the name of my album, prior album was called "Tell You Something."
Right.
Like this
Right.
music is talking to you. This
Ooh.
horn is saying something to you.
Yep.
And so I find the voice of the tenor being the one that I go to more often than the others.
Wow. And I love the bottom of the tenor. It has such a rich, warm,
Yeah,
Warm sound.
that's
So
what it
who
is.
are some of your influences as far I mean, you could whether it's saxophone influence or just overall
Yeah,
musical influence,
yeah,
who
yeah.
were some of them?
Well, definitely, man. So, like I said, I grew up in a house full of music. So it's
Yep.
all of the, Motown and R&B, all the
Okay.
classic stuff there.
Yep. Mhm.
Saxophone, though, is definitely Grover Washington Jr.
I
and
hear
David
it.
Sanborn.
I can hear
Those
that.
two.
Yep.
And then, believe it or not, saxophone wise, Sonny Stitt. And so
Mm.
Sonny Stitt was a bebop guy, a lot like Charlie Parker. But I have an uncle, so again, it's in the family. I had an uncle who, when we would go to his house in Ohio, he had records lined up all around the room. And he had his
Uh,
room where he had the stereo and the record player and his chair in front of it where he just listened to music. He
yeah.
was a true jazz head.
Yeah.
And so when he found out I was trying to play, he gave me 5 records: Charlie Parker, John Coltrane,
Ooh.
Dexter Gordon, Sonny
Ooh.
Stitt, and Lou Donaldson. And he said, go play like these guys, which was impossible, which was impossible. But,
I can
it opened my ear. And the one
oh.
that I gravitated towards was Sonny Stitt. And he had an album called Mr. Bojangles.
Oh my gosh.
Yes. And for some reason, the melody of that album, it just, that record, it just gravitated to me. And so as you know, as a kid, teenager, I guess about 13 or whatever, that was the first song that I ever like transcribed, like learned how to play something that
Wow.
somebody was playing, was the
Yeah.
Mr. Bojangles by Sonny Stitt. And so,
Wow.
I was,
Wow.
he had a big influence on me.
I tell you, I
And
can
Miles Davis. I'm sorry,
out
Miles Davis too. I had to throw in Miles because he was a
you
big
can't
influence
forget
on me.
Miles.
No, no, uh-uh.
Oh my God, legendary, iconic.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
yeah.
Absolutely. Well, listen, we need to pay a couple of bills.
Okay,
We're going to take our first break of the night. We're going to come back. We're going to have more conversation. Talk a little bit more about, you know, some of the things that impacted you to move forward professionally in music and just a few other things. But don't go away, you guys. Listen, I hope you're enjoying the conversation with Sam Rucker. We are really having a great time. I want you guys to stay connected. I know there are a bunch of comments that are up there. I'm going to come back after the break. I promise I'm going to acknowledge everybody who is in the room. So get your comments up, and we'll be right back with more from our special guest saxophonist, producer, Sam Rucker. If you want to spotlight your talent, boost your brand, email us your best MP3 at unsignedartistreveal@gmail.com to be considered as a featured artist on our platform. Mondays at 7:30 p.m. Central Standard Time, right here on Unsigned Artist Reveal. Come on, join the community. The Platinum Agencies is taking the indie brand to the next level with customized strategies that includes interviews on Unsigned Artist Reveal worldwide and promotional campaigns on social media. Listen to what these artists have to say about us. Daryl Anders of Agape Soul says Sabrina Taylor has created a brilliant platform to showcase unsigned and independent artists. She's been a great resource for increasing awareness and helping me to build my brand. International guitarist Gary Purcell says Unsigned Artist Reveal Worldwide offers a platform for unsigned artists to showcase and put themselves in a position where people can have an opportunity to learn about the artist in an up-close and personal setting. Sabrina Taylor does a great job making you feel comfortable and can really present the artist well to the audience. And it does not hurt that she has a smooth voice. The Platinum Agencies, better known as TPA, brand ambassador for indie artists on social media. Connect with the Platinum Agency at gmail.com. Hey, everybody, welcome back to the show. My name is Sabrina Taylor, influencer, and of course, creator and host of Unsigned Artist Reveal Worldwide. So very glad to have you guys join us on tonight. It is such an honor every Monday to have you guys come on. Couldn't do it without you. I see the Unsigned Artist Reveal family is in the house. I've got tons and tons of comments and things that I have not even begun to look at. And I promised before I went to break that I would definitely go in and at least say hello to those who are here. Ron Ledford, my friend, so glad to have you here. Great to have you join us. And Winford Elliott is in the house. We've got Martin Higgs. Martin Higgs is here from the UK. He's always here. He's about 6 hours ahead, should be asleep, but he says, no, watching the Unsigned Artist Reveal. I love that. I love that. Marvin Allen Sr. He says, hello, Sam.
Hey Marvin, how you doing, bro?
He says hello. And I think we have Julian Simmons in the house as well. Our good
June.
friend Michelle Sellers of STL Smooth Jazz. Jana and Rose Lady. Edmund is in the house. Glenn Carter. Ray is here. Of course she is. Hello. So glad to have you in the house. Well, she did say, hey, Sabrina, and hey, Sam.
Hey, that's right.
Hey, Desiree. Hey, Desiree. Let's see who um, I have not seen tonight, or I haven't acknowledged. I think Christine and Lisa. There are so many that are popping in. You guys, please make sure that you say something in the chat because we like to acknowledge you. You are the reason why we are here. Without you, there would be no Sam Rucker, no Unsigned Artist Reveal. What would we be doing, Sam?
We're chilling,
Oh. Trying to
chilling.
find something to do, right?
Yeah,
Trying
yeah.
to get into something. I think Shelly is in the house. Um, she actually asked the question about other saxophones. She said, what other saxophone player or musicians would you like to play with?
Oh
Great
man,
question, Shelly.
well, that's a great question.
It
So,
is. Yeah.
I love playing live with other musicians is one of my favorite things to do. I've had the opportunity to play with a lot of great renowned musicians, but boy, there's a long list of people that I would love to play
I
with.
know, right?
I
I
mean,
know.
just name anybody. Some of the guys that I consider like highly influential, like Kirk, Kirk Whalum and Joe
Yep.
Albright. Those guys, I would love to be able to, you know, work with them. There's many,
It's a lot.
a lot of great bass players out there too.
Oh
Uh,
my God, yes.
yeah, I would
Yeah, I
love,
agree. I
just
agree.
go down the list. Go
And
down.
Suzanne Smith. Hey, Suzanne. So glad to see her popping in too. She's got new stuff coming out. There's a lot of people coming on. You guys, again, if you're just coming in, please make sure that you make a comment in the chat and I'll do my very best to acknowledge everybody. But I want to get back to the man of the hour. Sam Rucker is here and your music is absolutely phenomenal. I have listened to your music. I like keeping the artist that's coming up ahead. True Love, I love that. I love that one.
Thank you.
And I know this is not even on the script. What inspired True Love? Was that like for real, or just a writing spurt, or
No, no,
what
no.
inspired True Love?
Man, true love is inspired by the fact that there is only one true love. You know,
Yeah.
I believe that I know I have been in situations where I thought I was in love. I
Well,
thought I was loved. You
yes,
know,
yes.
um, but people can let you down, things can let you down,
Yep.
and there really is only one true love, and that is the
Right.
love of God. And
That's it.
and when
That's
you
right.
discover that, and when you feel that love, His love, which is unconditional, no
Yeah.
conditions around it,
That's it.
then that is true love, and that's what
Absolutely.
that song is inspired by.
Wow. And I'm telling you, I really love it. Matter of fact, I used it as a promo this morning. I took us just 26 seconds. I didn't play the whole
Oh
thing.
no, you got it, you got it. Shout out to Jocelyn Best. She's the singer on that song.
She's
She's
amazing.
awesome,
Yes.
right?
She's
Awesome.
absolutely amazing. So I want to jump back in though, and I want to ask that question about the catalyst that impacted you. What was it that caused you to want to pursue professionally? Because we know that some people just do it for the love of the music.
Mhm.
But when you start doing music professionally, you better know what you're reckoning with, right?
Yeah,
So, what was that determining factor
yeah.
for you?
So for me, music has always been really just a tool. You know, um, it's a means to an end.
Yep.
It's
Yep.
just a tool to be able to connect with people and to convey a message.
True.
And that is really what inspired me from the beginning and to this day.
Yeah.
Is just the message behind the music. What it says to people. Encouragement, inspiration. You know, um,
Aw.
it's really about the message. 100% about the message.
100% the
And
message.
my message is kind of, we mature and we grow over the years.
We do.
Perhaps
Supposed
when I
to.
was younger, I just wanted to get on. You know what I'm saying? How you doing?
Yeah.
But that passes. That passes quickly. You realize that that thing is not all it's cracked up to be
It's very
many
fleeting.
times.
Very
So
fleeting. I
yeah, I'm
agree.
I'm to the
Yeah.
point now where it truly is all about the message. The music
Oh,
is just
wow.
a tool. It's a vehicle.
Yeah. And is your message one of a particular um, uh, feeling or what we experience more so in life? So is it more love, life, all of that? Or do you find yourself uh, writing as you're inspired? And it could be like a number of things.
Hmm.
What do you find that you're writing about?
Well, that's a great question.
Yeah.
Great question. But for me, it's really only one thing. It's only one. And
Okay.
in position, the single that came out today is a great example of that, right? So
Right.
in position is okay if I tell you what our in position is about.
Well, I was saving it for the end, but you
Okay,
can because I
okay.
asked you. I put you there.
You
We're
you
organic, so I want
you
you
teed
to
it up, so I'm
flow.
about to.
I want you to flow and do your thing. Yeah,
No,
absolutely.
the message for me is really all about spreading the gospel, the message of the
Mm,
gospel,
yeah,
and
right,
it is because it has made such a difference in my life,
right, right.
and it's truly a relationship with God, a
It is.
relationship with God through Jesus,
Yeah,
through
yeah.
Jesus Christ, that specific thing,
I love it.
and that's not the same for everybody,
No,
and
no.
it's not, I'm not talking about religion. I'm not talking about that stuff. I'm talking about truly, life beats us down, and
Yes,
you need answers. If you
yes,
just look at the last couple years,
sir.
have been,
Okay.
we need answers, and for me, it's about, here is the answer, that you can
Yeah,
live in this world, but not of this world,
yeah, yeah.
that you can live above all of the problems and the things, because those things are going to happen, but and so
Well,
that really, different aspects of that is what it is, but it's really that one message,
that is, yeah, that's what you're targeting, and I so love the fact that this platform has predominantly, I'll say, drawn the hearts of people who speak like-minded things, such as that. Rarely, and I'm very particular about who I bring on this platform
Mhm.
because it's ministry before music.
Hmm.
And so, and that could be the reason because like hearts draw. Do you know what I mean? Each
Hmm.
other. And
Yeah.
so to hear that, I'm just tickled pink about it.
Oh,
I
good.
love that. I love that. I want to ask you though, do you remember that first, that very first major performance when you were called for that? What were you? I know that had to be surreal, but do you remember that day? And
Do
who
I
was
remember?
being nosy?
What?
Yeah.
Let me tell you. Okay. All right. The first real major one where that made me say, okay, I think I can actually do this. Okay.
Oh,
That moment was at the Apollo Theater in Harlem, New York.
what?
Yes. Yes. I guess I might have been 18,
Oh my
19.
God. You were
You know,
young.
and I had won a series of talent shows in Virginia Beach, and like the ultimate prize was you got to go compete at amateur night at the Apollo. And this is
Oh,
back when it was on TV. It was hot. You had the lady with the
yes.
Jerry curl in the front row, and it was
Oh my God, yes.
it wasn't Steve. It was Mark. I forget his name.
Oh,
Um,
Curry?
Mark Curry,
Mark
right?
Curry,
And
tall guy, actor.
right.
Yeah, I remember Mark Curry.
Yeah,
Yeah,
the log and all of that. It was Showtime. It was the
that was
Apollo.
old school, man. I know, right?
So I went to the Apollo Theater with an original song,
Mhm.
playing a saxophone with an original song, okay,
Whoa.
with an original track, okay, and I won
Did you?
2 out of 3 times. The
You
third
did.
time I came in second place the third time. But after that, I was like, okay, this
This
is
is
something,
yeah, exactly,
This is because
exactly.
that is an absolutely brutal audience. I
You
mean,
yeah, who goes to the Apollo playing a song nobody
on a
has ever
saxophone. Like
and on a
you got
saxophone.
all these singers,
Yep,
you got singers,
yep,
rappers, other instrumentalists.
and you're playing saxophone.
And I'll tell you, like that also was one of the most. I'm glad it was early on in my career because
Yeah,
it was also one of the most humbling experiences.
okay.
I was like around 19, I guess, like I said, but in the green room, these little kids came in,
Uh-oh.
so all the artists are in the green room together, at the Apollo. It's a small place. So anyway, I'm down there warming up and there's a bunch of other people there. And these three little kids come in and one has a bass and the other has a case, a saxophone case. I'm like, oh, look at the little guy. He about to play sax. He must have been about what, 13, maybe 13. I'm like, look
Okay.
at the cute little fella with the saxophone. Man, let me tell you what,
Uh,
okay? This kid pulled that horn up, and after he started playing, I put mine up. Okay, I was like, okay, I ain't messing with
I knew you.
it. Was ridiculous. I don't know who he was, but it was ridiculous. This kid sounded like Charlie Parker reincarnated. It was unbelievable, man. I
Whoa.
couldn't believe it. At that point, I realized, okay, forget this whole, ego thing about trying to be the best, forget it, because there's children that,
That
that
are
can,
greater. Yeah. And
I'm
there's
telling you,
always
man.
someone, you
Yeah,
gotta realize there's always going to be someone better. But
yeah.
you be the best version of you, though.
That's it.
That's what it's
That's it.
about.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I say the greatest players have already lived and died.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
it's not, and the talent doesn't make us unique. The fact that we're musicians and our gifts is not what makes us unique.
Come
God
on.
gave millions and millions of people musical
That's it.
gifts.
Come
What
on,
makes us unique,
Sam.
what makes us unique is our assignment.
Uh,
Only you can complete your assignment. And
Now,
so it's the assignment, it's what you do with the music that makes the difference.
I need an offering plate. I'll just use my
My cash app is
Listen, you guys. He's I'm telling you, I just talked about getting in position for the assignment in which we were born for. Every person has an assignment. And I said to this person, Sam, it was just a few hours ago. Come on, get your mind right because we got to rock and roll.
yeah,
We have people waiting on us
mhm,
because they are assigned to us.
yeah,
If we toss away our purpose, then we've got bunches of people that we've got to give an account to.
That's right.
you know.
It's the assignment that's unique, not the
Sir.
gift. Not the gift. I'm sure you've had 100 sax players on this show. It doesn't matter. It doesn't make a bit of difference.
Ooh,
It's the
what's
assignment
that Cash App? What'd you say?
that is special. you know.
Oh my
And shameless plug. It's
mm-mm.
all about being in position.
That's so relevant today. I wonder why.
Yes.
It's so
It's
relevant.
about
It's
being
so
in
relevant.
position.
Oh my god. But you're noted, though, as having your own fingerprint. Of course, we all do. I would say what we're talking about now is the defining moment of the answer to that question. Um, Having a specific fingerprint is so key in this industry. Why? Because it's crowded, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
You just said I've had over 100. I have had a lot of saxophone players.
Yeah.
Just had one last week,
Yeah.
week, week
Yeah.
on here.
Yeah.
So I would venture to say that that fingerprint of yours is very important,
Yeah.
and um, you've got to continue to walk in that. I guess because you answered the question, I guess I just want to encourage you
Oh, thank you.
to just maintain individuality and your uniqueness because y- that's your defining moment. My dad is a bishop. My spiritual dad is a bishop,
Okay. Okay.
and he talks about being unique and duplicating somebody else. That's the failure,
Hmm.
is when you duplicate or intend to duplicate somebody else's voice, somebody else's lick, somebody else's run, someone
Yeah.
else's sound.
Yeah.
You've already failed,
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
know?
We outside of just learning
Yeah,
how to play,
yeah.
but yeah, absolutely. And so that's like my number one piece of advice is that you gotta get a relationship with God so you can find out what your assignment is.
Sir,
What is the thing you're supposed to do? Because the
I love it.
talent is just a tool, you
It's a
know?
tool. I love
Yeah.
that. I love that. I love that. So, i I'm not gonna even ask about changing, well, maybe I will. Would you change anything along the way? Along the way, if you could, would you?
Man, that actually is a good question because I'm that guy that says, "Man, I shoulda this, I shoulda that. What if I would have?" I am
Right?
that person that always does that, but I catch myself because I know that, I trust that my steps have been ordered, and I trust, I've been walking with the Lord a long time, and I trust that I am exactly where he wants me to be, and there's been nothing short of blessings. I've
Aw.
heard it said before that one of the biggest mistakes or one of the biggest problems we can have in life
Mhm.
is what we had in mind,
Ooh,
especially when you're
damn.
walking with the Lord. It's
Yeah,
the way you think it should go.
yeah.
Our ways are not God's ways. And so I'm careful now to really check that. I would not change a thing.
Got it, got
Nope.
it. Yeah,
Mm-mm.
right. And even along the way, if we could, I I truly believe, and I think I made a post of this, failure is just that thing that redirects you in the way that you should go anyway,
Oh,
you know?
yeah, man.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
just a redirection. And there should be lessons learned
Yeah.
when because we defined it as, oh, I failed because we feel so badly that, we're so used to compete, win, win, kick the door in.
Yeah.
And we've been taught this since when you're walking, yay, you get applause when your first step. So since we've been in the world,
Yeah.
and so, if for some reason things don't go the way we expect, learn and take that and grow
Yeah.
from that.
And
You know,
and who are you to say that it was a failure? You know what I'm saying?
that's
That
what
that's that's the thing, man. Is we you gotta get rid of that whole
beyond that.
notion that what should be happening in your life.
Come on. I love it.
The sooner you can get rid of that, man, the better. You
Better
know.
off we'll be.
Yes.
Boy, I gotta take a water break. I gotta take a drink after that. Man,
Water.
It's
I hope.
great. It's just water. Yeah. No wine tonight. But it is so this is great. This is rich conversation. I'm loving it. You guys, I know you are. We still got over 38 comments. It's like at first I had 60, got all those down. Now we've got 39, 40. They're growing. Sir, you're creating so you guys, I'll come back to the comments, I promise. When we come back from this break, so happy to have Sam Rucker with us tonight. He's full of wisdom, full of the word, full of music, and I am loving it. And I hope you guys are. So we're going to come right back in just a moment with more from our special guest in just a minute. Hey everyone, Sabrina Taylor here. Join me on Unsigned Artistryville Worldwide every Monday at 7:30 p.m. Central, 8:30 p.m. Eastern. Learn about the artistry of our guests through up-close and personal conversation and music premiere. Don't miss a segment. Come on, join the community. Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the show. I am Sabrina Taylor, creator and host of Unsigned Artistryville Worldwide. Yes, and we are worldwide indeed. I've had so many different um, states and countries on this platform. It is absolutely humbling. I love it, and I'm so glad to have my guest from Virginia, Sam Rucker. And like tonight, I have Martin Higgs. He's from the UK. I think one of the shows we had someone from Brazil. We've had someone from it was some part of Asia. I'm not sure what part it was, but it just is so amazing that we are impacting the whole world with music. Everybody loves music. I love
It's a
that.
universal language,
It
right?
is a universal language. It absolutely is. And it's very humbling and I love it. This time around I want to talk about a little bit more about you. Well, it's all about you, but do you have your own label?
Absolutely. Favorite
Yeah.
Productions.
Yeah.
Favorite Productions LLC. Um, you know what? I established my label a long time ago.
Long time
Yeah,
ago.
like 20 years ago. Yeah.
Whoa.
Like
Wow.
back when you had to have real distribution, like with a distributor, when it was CDs and stores. That's when I started my company, and we were really selling out the trunk. That's back when.
What? Oh my God.
Yeah,
Wow. So then you've pretty much answered that question again. So beyond having a platform for yourself, because I know today most artists are creating that platform for themselves.
yeah.
And they have all the digital distribution. But so you are producing others within this 20 years you've produced.
Yeah, so I started out only producing others. Really, I started out
Oh, okay.
only producing rappers, singers, and all that.
Look at you.
And it wasn't really until maybe the last, I guess, 10 years or so that I yeah, about the last 10 or 12 years that I um, decided to focus on myself, and on the horn as that tool, as that venue, as
Yeah.
that avenue rather, and so I stopped producing other artists at that time, and so I'm kind of getting the itch now where I feel like I'd like to get back to producing
Really?
other
Oh,
artists. I really am starting to feel like that, but we'll see.
okay.
We'll let the Lord guide that.
Please, because I'm loving what I'm hearing, you know? I'm loving it, really loving it. Yeah. And of course, I did promise that I was going to come back on and see what all the chatter was about. And Desiree is such a sweetheart. She's thanking everybody for sharing and all the shout outs. And we really do appreciate Martin Chapman is on. He's from the UK as well. That's I told you. Hey, when I say worldwide, I mean worldwide. Wanted to see if there were any questions. Well, here's a comment. Sam Rucker, can't wait for you to really become that household name. You're so deserving. Look at that. How do you feel when people say things like that about you?
Uh, I feel appreciative,
Yeah,
honestly.
yeah,
I'm just grateful that I'm able to connect with people,
exactly.
because, one of the things that took me so long really to pursue it as myself as a saxophonist was the fact that I really started, my writing and producing in hip hop and R&B. And my style still is really the combination of hip hop, R&B, jazz, gospel. That's
Wow.
all those elements. But I really felt like the music that I wrote didn't fit in the smooth jazz genre.
Right.
And it took me a while to kind of get over that and realize what we talked about before, which is, hey, you got a unique assignment
Yep.
that is, you're not supposed to sound like everybody else.
No.
So I
No.
went through that, and it
Yep.
took a while.
Yeah.
And so I am really, just appreciative of the fact that people, that I'm able to connect with people and that they enjoy what I'm doing, and hopefully they get the message. And you know, I trust God, every step of the way in terms of what happens with me next.
You got it. That's the main thing you said is you have to trust God.
Yeah,
Uh, trust no man. You trust God, and that's going to take you all the way. Trusting Him, because when you put your trust in man, you better hang on to something because you're gonna fail for real.
hey, look,
Trusting in man, you know
the
what I
problem
mean?
with people is that they're people.
Exactly. And that's my
We
point.
all
There are
are.
people. Yes, that's right. And
We
we
all are.
do falter.
That's it. That's
So
it.
yeah, but different is good. Costello said, yeah, different is good. That's what makes us unique.
There you
Because if
go.
we all looked alike, sound alike, we would be a boring world,
Yes.
right? Yeah,
Yes.
different is really, really, really good. And I love it. Desiree say preach. She's clapping her hands. She's getting happy over there. I hear you,
Right.
Desiree.
I see her doing the happy dance.
Yeah, and Martin says that's key, being yourself. It
Yes.
is. It is so very, very
And
important. And I love
appreciating your uniqueness too. Like that
yes.
was it for me. Is like, it's, if as a parent, if you give your child a gift and they act like it's not good enough or it's not like somebody else's, how does that make you feel? Well, when we act like that about the gifts that God has given us, it's
Yes.
disrespectful to Him, man.
Very.
And that's something that I had to learn. Like, for me to say that it's not good enough is to say that God is not good enough. That He
Right.
didn't give me what I
Right.
needed, and that's blasphemy. So at this point, man, I'm appreciative, and you guys are right. You got to embrace your uniqueness.
You
And
do. You do.
love it. Love your uniqueness. This is a big world, and there's plenty of people for you to connect with. So
Yeah,
embrace your uniqueness for sure.
absolutely. And I mentioned, I don't know if you're familiar with Martin Trotman. Have you heard of him?
Um.
Amazing, amazing keyboardist.
Oh man,
I'd like for you two to
I
get
want to
connected.
play with Martin. Then, yeah.
I can
You asked me
hear
who I wanted to play
something.
with earlier. How about Martin Trotman? Let's get
Martin
it.
is amazing.
Let's
He's been
get it.
on once. Martin, you better come on back so people can hear what you're doing. But yeah, that's someone I'd like to see you guys connect and do something. I also though want to start talking about the new song and the inspiration. You kind of started and it was like, don't
I
know.
didn't go in.
You didn't. I saw you shift so eloquently. That was so gracious of you. But I want you to talk about the inspiration of In Position. Go ahead and share it. Let it rip now.
Let her
As
rip.
you let it rip. Exactly. Yeah.
So the song in position, and the inspiration is really this question:
Mm.
Are you in position?
Mm.
Are you in position to have peace and victory no matter what life throws at us?
Wow.
We all know what has happened in the last couple of years.
Yes.
We've seen the worst. We've really seen the worst of life.
Yeah.
Even now, we're seeing the worst of life with what's going on in Ukraine. with the pandemic, with the
True.
civil unrest, we have seen the worst. You've had people with stable careers lose jobs. People perfectly healthy die. You know, um, and the world has just changed to where the definition of normal is different. You
Yeah.
know, and for me, that started even before that. Like
Mm.
with the production of the last album, Redemption.
Yeah.
While I was working on the album, I actually lost my guitar player. He passed away,
No.
and my nephew was a guitar player on that album too. Both
Yeah.
of them
Okay.
died in the same week.
What?
Both of them died.
My
And
God.
and I have them both on a song called "Overcomer" from the last album.
I
But
remember
like,
that. Yeah.
yeah, and so
Mhm.
it's life is real.
It is
Life
real.
is real, and the
It is.
storms in life are real.
So real.
And
Yeah.
my question is, are you in position? Do you have an umbrella? Do you have shelter from the storm? Because the
See?
storm is coming,
Mm.
and the storms will come, they will pass. Do you have shelter from are you in position to,
Wow.
even though it may seem like you're losing, you can still have peace even in that. Like
Yeah.
no matter what, you can
Yeah.
have peace. Are you in
Exactly.
that position?
Yeah.
And the inspiration behind the song is get in position. Life is about being in position,
Right. It is.
and it's about being able to live in the world, but not of the world. And
That's
that
it.
position is a position of belief in God to the point
Yeah.
where you trust Him, right?
Yeah.
Because it's easy to believe, but do you believe enough to trust?
T That's it.
To trust.
Do
And
you believe enough?
yeah,
Because we believe,
yeah,
we know. Okay, there has to be a God to have created such beautiful things in the world and all, but do we trust? How much do we trust him?
yeah. Do you trust enough to try Him?
To tr
And the scripture behind the song in position is actually Luke chapter 8, the woman with the issue of blood, you know. And it was a story where the woman was bleeding for 12 years,
Yes.
and she spent all her
All
money
she
and
had.
resources, all
Yeah.
she had, on
Yep.
doctors,
Yep.
which is the way of the world,
That's
you
it.
know. And she didn't get better,
No, she
and then she heard about Jesus,
see,
and she changed her position on the matter.
yeah.
And she said, instead of spending all my resources there, I'm going to trust and put my resources and energy in God and getting to Jesus.
And here is what some need to know who don't know. She wasn't even supposed to be outside because she was bleeding.
Yeah,
So
she was
so
unclean.
really, she was pushing the envelope on every level,
Yeah. And
you
she
know.
had to push through the crowd.
Push through crowds,
So
there
she,
was a
so she
second
she
obstacle.
changed her position to the
She
point where she believed enough to do something, to walk after him. And this is what I'm asking you. Change your
Sir,
position to believe in him enough to walk after him. It's not enough to just believe. You got
yes.
to believe, and you got to walk after him. But look what happened
Woo!
when she did. When she did, he didn't pray for her. He
Come on,
didn't touch her.
sir.
He didn't even know she was there. All she did was touch the hem of his garment, and she was healed. He didn't even know who she was. He turned around and was like, wait a minute, who touched me?
Somebody who touched me? Who did that? Who who trusted me is what I'm saying.
That's
Who
the
was
position we need to be in. That
it?
is being in position.
Sir, you just okay, everybody. Desiree, put his cash app up there, okay? And I'm serious. Put his cash app up
I
there
tell
because
you what, y'all just put in position in your playlist. We'll do
and
that.
that too, but put his cash app up there. But I'm telling you, this is so relevant. Whittington made us, and I have forgotten all about this until she made this statement. She said, Sabrina, you spoke about getting prepared. Yes. I told them March 16th, if I'm not mistaken, that every Tuesday I have prayer. And any of you who want to come in prayer tomorrow at 7 Central, you are welcome. I'll have the ID and everything up. But I told the ladies, I said, it's time to prepare because the Lord says there's going to be shortages in water and food and gas. Prepare.
Mm.
It's time to prepare. And then after that, I started hearing a series of that same thing follow, and it was just confirmation. And I've been hearing the confirmations ever since then. So this is so relevant. This is so on time. This is real time. This is real life,
It's
which
real
is what
life.
you're saying,
It's
Sam.
real life, man.
It
Life
is
is
real
real.
life.
And, and the music hopefully just leads you to an answer,
Yes,
to a better place. It's all about having that personal experience.
exactly. So I assume so you wrote the totality or was it partial?
No, I wrote it.
Okay.
Yeah, I wrote it, but I got some great musicians on there. I got
Mhm.
Donnell Smith on bass. He's got a bass solo. I've got Lucy Kilpatrick on keyboards, on the piano. I got
Saucy, saucy, saucy. Good.
J.P. Lilliston on
Mhm.
drums,
Yeah.
and Carl Lester is on guitar. You like that guitar intro. That
Man,
he worked that thing, right? So that's Carl Lester on the
you can
guitar. So
buy me,
it's
honey.
just wonderful
Woo!
musicians on it.
Yeah. I'm loving it. I am so loving it. Well, here's what we're going to do. It is time for the music premiere, and I am so ready for you guys. And it's got this nice mid to up tempo groove. And I was like, hey, I didn't expect that. And I've been playing it all day, all week. And I
Right.
was like, okay, I played it even today before I sat down. So I want you guys to put up the emojis, the hearts, the likes. We're going to come back in about 4 minutes and we're going to share your expressions and your responses. You guys, I am so excited for you to hear it. So hang on because In Position was released today, right?
Today.
Midnight. It was at
Today.
midnight this
That's
morning.
yep.
I caught it this morning. I was awake until 2. So
You were awake at midnight.
I was awake. So yeah, I was able to hear it even before then, but I knew it was released today. So you guys hang on and enjoy. Saxophonist Sam Rucker with In Position. We'll be back in just a moment. I know you guys enjoyed that because I've been grooving on it for a while. Oh my gosh, it's amazing. Amazing. Congratulations to you, Sam.
Thank you so much, and thank you to everybody for all of your support. Uh, I'm glad you enjoy it. Keep playing it. Play it loud.
Absolutely, absolutely. I want to bring up some of the comments that were released while the song was going on. I don't know if I was able uh to get any captured here. Hold on. Let's take a look. And if not, yeah, great song, awesome song. Um and a great record. I mean, I saw emojis, and the emojis, I can't transfer them over. There were a lot of those, like fire and dancing. People were dancing. It was just so amazing. It was so much energy from everybody. They loved the music, and it's not hard because it's an amazing song. I
Right.
truly, truly, truly am enjoying it. So, it was released today, so is it already on radio or was it all simultaneously, like, dropping
It
to radio?
starts on radio today. Well, a couple of radio stations added last week.
Got it.
It's been
Yeah.
added to a few, but today is the
Is
official
the drop
day
okay,
for them
got
all
it.
to start playing today. So you
Yeah.
guys should be able to hear it on in your your local station.
Favorite ra
Yeah,
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 yeah.
and I'm sure Michelle, is going to, have it, spinning, but, beyond tonight from the live airing, you this will also be rebroadcasted probably 3 or 4 times,
Oh, great.
and STL will be one of those with Michelle, Sellers as well. So I just love the energy. I love, um, what it stands for, the message in it, and that just even makes it better. Gosh, I tell you,
Amen.
just so
Yeah,
amazing. How are you feeling today? Are when you drop music,
everything.
what do you feel when you drop music?
Every day,
Yeah.
I am. I tell people I'm like, you know, borderline tremendous. Okay, I'm at the edge of tremendous. That's where I am.
Yeah.
Every
Mm,
day that the Lord sees fit to wake me up,
yeah.
is a beautiful day. So no, I'm
Um,
great. I'm great, and obviously I'm excited to see, uh, you know, um, how it connects with people,
yep.
but like we've been talking about, I trust God, and the music for me at this stage, for me, my career is just a tool, man. It's about the message, the opportunity to give this message is I won. It's a victory.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
We
that's what it's.
win.
Yeah,
Regardless,
that's
we
right.
win. We
And
win.
if it brightens people's day, that's what I'm going for.
Oh, wow.
You know,
And I am just honored to have been able to premiere it on the date that it dropped. That just makes it even more exciting, you know?
look at God.
Oh, it was a privilege to do that, and that is why this platform is here, really. Out of all the other things that we do here, this is to chat with the artist, spotlight your releases so that more people can hear about it. So many times I've heard people say, if you hadn't put him on, I didn't know such and such until I was on the Unsigned Artist Reveal and I saw and I heard that, then the job is done. The
Yes.
job is done.
Well,
So
you're doing a great job.
thank you for
Fantastic program. I
thank you.
watched some of your prior broadcasts,
Look at you.
and absolutely fantastic.
I'm humbled. Thank you so
Blessed. You're
much.
blessed,
Thank you.
and gifted, you know,
Yeah. Oh,
gifted.
you're just so
Everybody
amazing.
can't do this. That's God's gift.
I tell you, it's a lot to it. I don't just sit in this chair and smile. There's work before I sit in this chair. There's a
Yeah.
lot of work.
Yeah.
But that's the labor of love because at the end, I'm so very proud of the work that comes out of this camp.
Yeah.
And to have someone say, "Hey, you need to go and see Sabrina," that's better than all the money in the world or whatever, because I'm doing something. I know I'm doing something right. So I really do appreciate that. And we want to know if you're going to be touring. Are you going to
Yeah,
be
absolutely,
performing? Yeah.
absolutely. So we're filling up the calendar with dates right now.
Yep.
I'm really excited about. I'm going to do over the summer. I'm going to be doing a what we call up close and personal series, which will be like a
Uh-oh.
dinner concert series in this gourmet restaurant in Richmond, Virginia, which is an hour or so away from me. Richmond
Oh,
is the capital of Virginia,
yeah.
but we're doing it in a place where um, it only fits like 40 people at a time.
Very personal.
So yeah, so we're gonna do, but it's like gourmet food. It's a gourmet meal. It's a very classy event, and
Oh,
it's gonna be an amazing show. And we're doing a series of them over throughout the summer. So,
I want
you
to
got to buy your tickets. You got to book your dates and buy your tickets for the dates that you want.
go. Yeah.
For your date, you got to get them ahead of time because it's
Oh, well.
limited. What we wanted was something exclusive, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Something that will be special and memorable and exclusive. And I think this is, I know that this is going to be an absolutely great series. So I'm excited about that one. But we got shows coming up. You just got to hit the website, samrucker.com.
Yep.
We're adding dates all the time.
And this is how people can reach you
Absolutely.
on social media.
Mhm.
We want you guys to connect. We want you, and I already saw, and you can go back whenever you get an opportunity after the show, Sam. I've seen people say I've already downloaded. So they are doing that. And again, that's I my job is done. Spotlight you, let you hear it, and then spontaneously people download it. And that is what we want. And thank you guys so very much. Sam is an amazing creative, multi-talented. He's producer. He loves God. I mean, you can't, he loves his family. He's just an overall great guy. And
Wow. Thank you.
he's being supported by Desiree. So we know
Desiree's the
he
bomb.
she's
You
the
know.
bomb.com.
Yeah.
Yeah. So thank you guys so much for supporting him. What do you want people to walk away with when they experience your music?
Man, I want you to walk away with um, the thought in your mind that there is a God who is real,
Yes.
who can change my life and can guide my steps.
Yes.
And there's a relationship for me to have with him.
Wow.
Songs like True Love,
Yep.
Down on the Inside, In
Yep.
Position. The name of the album that's coming, by the way, because In Position is a single. So the album is called One Touch. I'm going to let you just guess what that's about.
I
But,
I
but
I won't even need to.
you already know. You,
I
you,
already know.
you already know. But yeah, but that's the hope, and a lot of my songs do have actually vocals singing the message in the hook. And so, I really want people to just walk away with at least just the thought in their mind, maybe I should, try this relationship with God.
Yep.
Maybe I should try this Jesus thing, um, just the thought, it's just the seed. Ultimately, my job is just to plant a seed, plant the seed of the
Absolutely.
word. That's it.
Absolutely.
Mhm.
Absolutely. And you are planting great seeds and you will get an abundant harvest. And that is what it is all about. And I just want to speak blessings upon you, that the windows of heaven would open up and pour you out so many blessings that you don't have room enough to receive. You're a giver. So then that means you're going to give it away, even if you do get it, right? So we just thank you so much for coming.
Thank you.
We look forward to the CD. I still appreciate CDs. I know it's a singles market these days and it's more economical and
Yeah.
blah, blah, blah. But I love the storyline behind CDs.
Yeah.
Most times there are stories. There is
Yep.
one.
Yep.
And
There's a
so
storyline, and the whole album is cohesive.
see,
And I can't wait for it too. I'm gonna do something special. I have to come back because I'm gonna do something
please
special
come back.
for the
Please.
release of the album that gives you that cohesive story. I'm gonna do something special with that. So I'm not gonna tell it now, but I have to come back so we can look at that and talk about that.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Well, I look forward to that. And you guys, I hope you enjoyed our special guest. Um, he's amazing, and the music was amazing, and our time was just not long enough. But I have to be cognizant of the fact that this will be a rebroadcast. So we've got to get out of here. So listen, remember, what you make happen for others, God will make it happen for you. You guys take care. I love you so much. Blessings to all of you. And we will see you again soon. Take
Thank you,
care.
everybody. God bless.